The recent COVID-19 pandemic, severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2, also referred to as SARS-CoV-2, is a virus that causes respiratory illness in humans. The virus has impacted and changed many lives throughout the year, from people staying at home to doing online work and social distancing. The new production of the COVID vaccine has caused many fears that have led people to avoid being vaccinated. In order to understand the SARS-CoV-2 vaccine, let's understand what the immune system is and how vaccines work within the immune system. When foreign particles invade our bodies, the immune system begins triggering responses attempting to remove them from our bodies. We can tell it is working through innate responses such as sneezing, coughing, fevering, or inflammation. This works to trap, deter, and limit the spread of pathogens. The next response is from the adaptive immunity. Adaptive immunity contains special cells called B cells and T cells. These cells are sent to fight specific invaders while creating a memory of the antigens. This is handy if the same virus tries to attack the body. With these smart responses, the body still takes time to learn how to fight the pathogens and build defenses. If a body is too young or too old, it could place that person at fatal risk. Vaccines are a way to avoid this and prepare the body before a person gets sick. It uses the same pattern that the body uses to defend itself. Scientists use vaccines to trigger an immune response against a particular pathogen without exposing the person to the full strength of the disease. There are different types of vaccines to trigger this immune response. Live attenuated vaccine is made of the pathogen itself, but weaker and tamer. The inactivated vaccine is a dead pathogen, example being polio or rabies. Subunit vaccine is only made of one part of the pathogen, called the antigen. Messenger RNA vaccine uses the pathogen's protein to trigger the immune response. Vaccines in general aid the body in gaining the knowledge to fight off viruses, making your body stronger and healthier. It trains the immune system to recognize and attack by making a profile of each pathogen it comes by.
Severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus, or what everyone is talking about these days, COVID-19. This is a virus that disrupted everyone's lives, not just nationwide, but globally. This pandemic truly opened up our eyes to the lack of scientific knowledge that most people have and the fast spread of misinformation. In the next few minutes, I will be explaining what the novel coronavirus is made up of and how it attacks our body. Then I will go into how the vaccine was produced and the effects that it triggers in our antibodies. I will then talk about herd immunity and why it is vital for us. SARS-CoV-19 is a virus with a single-stranded RNA and 4 proteins. The virus comes with 2 layers of protection. The first layer is the nucleic capsid protein, which is the casing around the pathogen's RNA. The second layer of protection consists of the 3 remaining proteins, which is the membrane protein, the envelope protein, and the infamous spike protein. The spike protein is what binds to the ACE2 receptor in our body cells and gains access. From here, it then releases its RNA strand into the cell, which is then instructed to start replicating. Once replication is done, the pathogen then exits the host cell, restarting the process all over again. Vaccines are a way to introduce our bodies to certain pathogens in a less harmful way. The vaccine typically contains a piece of information from a certain pathogen. Once in our body, our immune system will use this piece of information to produce a unique antibody that will only combat this particular pathogen. In the case of the coronavirus, there are 2 different types of vaccines. Both the Pfizer and the Moderna vaccines contains the mRNA that directly has information from the coronavirus's spike protein, whereas the Johnson & Johnson vaccine has the spike protein information from a different, less harmful virus rather than the coronavirus. Herd immunity is when most of the population is immune to a particular pathogen by either being vaccinated or being naturally immune. The herd immunity percentage depends on how contagious a certain pathogen can be. According to Dr. Fauci, we would need to achieve somewhere between 70 to 85% of the population to be vaccinated or immune in order to cross the herd immunity threshold. The reason why this is so vital is because in doing so, we are able to better protect those individuals who cannot get vaccinated due to being immune compromised or too young to be vaccinated.
Now that the vaccine is out, most students have been able to participate in hybrid instruction, and it looks like most schools are planning to open up next school year. Also, it has allowed us to safely reunite with family and friends after only being able to see each other from a distance. Furthermore, people have returned to their workplaces after being laid off or unemployed for months. These are only a few among the various activities that the vaccine has allowed us to safely resume. There are many people that believe the rumors about the vaccine. For example, many think that it contains RFID chips, and this is only one among the various conspiracies that people have created about the vaccine. When conversations of the vaccine first came out last summer, people feared wide conspiracies such as the altering of DNA. The COVID vaccine does not alter one's DNA because the mRNA does not enter the nucleus where the DNA resides. People also believe that the vaccine affects women's fertility, but that is just a rumor, as there is no scientific evidence to prove it. There was also a rumor that the vaccine was not safe and effective because it was released to the public in a matter of months. But what most people don't know is that the basic research of the RNA virus has been ongoing for over a decade, which allowed the rapid process of developing the vaccine. People have convinced themselves that the myths around the COVID vaccine are true, which is why many are against it. The reality is that all these myths highlight the pseudoscience around the COVID vaccine. We cannot let pseudoscience interfere in our progression towards reaching herd immunity. For this reason, we encourage everyone to analyze the credibility of the sources they obtain information from. The best website to stay informed about COVID would be through the cdc.gov. The more we reassure people about the safety of the vaccine, the closer we will be to resuming our pre-COVID activities. If you haven't done so already, get vaccinated and let's help ourselves fully return to our regular activities. If you're looking to make an appointment, you can do it through myturn.ca.gov.